In a single elimination tournament, new teams have risked it all by experimenting with different agents completely outside of the current meta, and luckily it's worked like a charm, causing giants like Fnatic to fail to qualify for Madrid. So what exactly were the strategies behind these agent picks that caused such massive upsets?
I mean, part of innovating is risking, you know, and people don't like to risk at this level.
With agents such as Jett and Raze being so powerful, Yoru has rarely been used in pro play. He occasionally gets picked on bind as his flashes are strong and his TPs are great for keeping up with the rotates. So why all of a sudden is he being used on certain maps with absolutely no balance changes to duelists? Well, it all comes down to countering the meta. Recently, Cypher has seen a surge of popularity as he got a small buff on his tripwires, and teams have found powerful setups on maps such as Split, Bind, and the newly back in rotation Breeze. And so teams have started to use Yoru on these maps to directly counter Cypher. When Paper X decided to use an absurd comp of 3 duelists and 2 controllers on Split, Devi had this to say after the game.
Yoru is a good idea on that map because people run Cypher most of the time, right, on that map, so we use the decoy to break the trip as well.
With the tripwires being buffed so it's harder for the Skydog to detect them, the Yoru clone is the next best thing to get rid of them trips before you hit the site. Yoru's ultimate is great for information, distractions, and clearing out the sites. However, teams have found new ways to utilise this ultimate to directly counter Cypher. By pairing it with the shorty, the Yoru will hunt Cypher down to make it easier for their team to get onto side. Therefore, a massive part of using Yoru is farming the ult orbs. This was very effective on Breeze, as for example, Na'Vi would fight for both ult orbs on every attacking round, which led for Ardis ulting 4 times in their attack half. As well as countering the Cypher, teams have made sure to come up with unique ideas to maximise the potential of this agent. Utilising the power of Yoru's TP, almost all players I analysed played in very aggressive off angles to get a free kill and then easily teleport out of the situation, allowing their team to get a player advantage. Team Heretics had some very different plays when it came to Yoru, as Miniboo would enter the site for them as normal, but would then proceed to teleport across the map where he would flank up mid, jumping on this ledge to get an angle on the players fighting on site. More teams would utilise the power of Yoru's TP by using it to fake site pushes. Karmine Corp managed to completely fake out Fnatic by using the Yoru clone as well as the Astra wall, and then Marteen just easily TPs out back with his team to help take B side.
Second layer into, oh my god, Narrate. Oh, this guy's an animal. Couldn't find a second, the site's ends. And they're so clean, Tom. They're so goddamn clean with it.
Lastly, I just want to highlight some of the set plays Karmine Corp were able to use with Yoru's ultimate. As Marteen uses his ultimate right as the barriers go down, Fnatic suspect that he's just doing it for early info, but in fact, they're pairing this with the paranoia to allow Marteen to get a free kill.
Hunting. He's after you, Alpha. Run, boy, run. The paranoia.
The level of depth to these plays are insane, and Karmine Corp are not quite done there, as our next agent Gecko looks like a great alternative for Sky, who recently received nerfs. The first thing I want to point out is that the pros are absolutely abusing the 10-second recall time. You can see Narrate throwing his Dizzy straight away almost every round so that he can get information or take space and instantly pick it back up to be reused. This allows for Narrate to use his abilities sometimes 2 to 3 times per round, making him a constant threat on the map. Narrate is very good at using his Dizzy to set up his teammates by pairing it with different types of utility. Check out this set play supporting his Raze.
Any sort of comfort. Maybe they should change their attempt of their...
Gecko's ultimate seems to be very strong and is a high threat to enemies when being used. Therefore, Narrate uses his ult to clear out lots of space for his team and then simply just pick it back up again for the post plan. I love the play the team makes here to get a free kill with the Gecko ult. As the team suspects a player lurking middle, they go to pinch and they use the Gecko ult to find the player, as they know they will be able to safely retrieve his ultimate for later on in the round. With Icebox coming back into the competitive rotation, we've seen for the first time jawgemo from EG use Deadlock in this unusual no duelist composition. Straight from round 1, we can see some of the strategies they be cooking. As Leaf tries to dash at the back of Yellow to fight for control, jawgemo is waiting with his gravity net to catch Leaf and allow his teammate to get a free kill.
Flash is on the field right now.
The dash forward from Leaf, the spam out on Superman, he tries to land the shots, he was lit up.
However, this didn't only happen once. In fact, a total of 3 times this almost exact play happened, and G2 had no ideas on how to counter it.
A 5v3 net, VG is perfect.
You would think that his performance would slow down on the attack, but he still had huge impact with his utility. He would use his wall on attack to block off entry points for the defenders, such as right at the back of the A site to stop any flood retakes. His traps would be an absolute nightmare to deal with it almost being impossible to avoid, and jawgemo would play into these perfectly, placing them around the bomb sites or using them for extra protection in the post plants.
The fadeaway, leaving net by himself, having to take the fight into the sensor.
However, note that he is not using the traps to hold the flank, as enemies can easily walk past them without you knowing. And that's why I think it's very important to play 2 sentinels when playing with Deadlock. Even though she is a solid agent, you would have to build an agent comp around her, which would be very hard to succeed in the current meta. This brings us on perfectly to look at Loud's Phoenix pick, as Sadak would be the last person to try and use Deadlock.
Now you can see we're not playing with sentinels, which is super good. I hate sentinels, by the way.
Instead, he builds agent compositions around heavy util such as flashes and mollies. Loud are a well-drilled team where they pair up utility to easily take control of sides. Not only that, but when retaking, they do the exact same thing, getting into position, pairing all of their utility up to cause havoc for the enemies. As you can see, they are using Phoenix in a much more supporting style, where QCK has molly lineups, as well as you can see him using his own utility, such as the wall, to help his team onto site. Sadak mentioned in an interview that this allows him to play very flexible, as they can use their utility to take space together, whereas before when they had Aspas, it was all about using resources to set him up in aggressive positions. The next agent we've seen a higher success rate on during VCT Kickoff, which is Fade, who is another alternative to Sky. Narrate once again demonstrates perfect usage of her abilities that reveals the true potential of this agent. The 2 Prowlers are great resources for your duelists to push up from, as they can distract and push enemies back, forcing them to reposition. Paired up with the Raise Nade, C's can be greatly effective in trapping players or forcing them out of position. Karmine Corp had a lot of cool ideas to utilise the Fade Eye. Check out this great retake where Karmine Corp paired their Fade Eye with the Omen Blind, allowing Narrate to get a free wallbang kill.
Is it going to be enough? Paranoia are waiting on it, and that's exactly when they'll move in. Everyone is blinded.
Looking at different set plays using the Fade ultimate, I want you to take a look at this play from Na'Vi, where Fade ults B site, deafening the players, as Omen ults behind them, completely outplaying Team Liquid.
The site that they're choosing, it's B that they move towards. A good call, but they might just be caught off by this. A lot of information to play with. TP committed into spawn, and Xiao's got 2 for it. Anything Mystic can do.
Fade, as well as other agents covered in this video, have recently had a huge impact on the success of these teams, and I'm excited about how the different regions are going to react to these changes at Madrid.